there, and welcome back to the Message Marketing Pod. I'm your host, Christopher Melotti from Melotti Media, and this is a special podcast episode where the four marketers, including myself, Kristen Hancock, and Mike Sandys, get together to discuss the upcoming market volatility that's expected around the world and how marketing can help you protect your business. So in this episode, we discuss the natural reaction of businesses, which is to turn off marketing and cut costs in the face of things like rising interest rates and supply shortages. But in fact, it should be quite the opposite. So have a listen to this podcast episode where we discuss what you need to know and what you need to do. Enjoy. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode. So we are discussing marketing in a downturn and what to expect when the market changes and why marketing is really important in these sort of circumstances. So my name is Chris from Melotti Media, and we are a copywriting and content marketing agency, and we help brands articulate their value to their clients. Mike?
I'm Mike Sandys, Managing Director of Oddball Marketing. We're a high-performance, results-driven marketing agency.
Kristen Hancock from Fontaine Swatch, and we create profound brands for mid-market Australia.
Awesome. And so we are filming and recording in the amazing Cub spot in Potts Point. So let's kick off the conversation. So as we know, the market all over the world is expected to hit a bit of a crisis. No one knows, no one can predict the future. We don't know what is in store, but all we know is that cost of living is going up, and
inflationary environment, cost up.
Businesses are starting to really feel it, and the expectations, of course, then drives it, and it becomes self-perpetuating. And so we're in this.
The first thing that happens?
Yeah, the first thing that happens, marketing budgets get cut.
The CEOs say,
Yeah, and so our message today, in a nutshell, is never stop marketing. You shouldn't stop marketing. And I keep saying to my clients, if 2020 and 2021 taught us anything, it was that that right now, when all of your competitors and all other businesses are kind of going quiet, now is the time more than ever that you should be marketing rather than pulling it back.
Absolutely. I think through COVID, we all saw that all the businesses that went dark, as we call it, going dark,
froze.
Yeah, they froze it, but it massively impacted their businesses. Whereas those that actually came out and into the light and were actually active, they were seen more by their target audience, and they also started to drive the agenda within their market. So particularly when COVID started to subside, they were the ones that hit the runway and were on the way.
I think, and that's the key, isn't it, really, because it's not just what's going on at that time, but by doing smart marketing during those down times means that you're primed, ready to go, particularly on the other side of things as things start to improve. You're already out, you've already got your marketing activities in a groove, you've already got great messaging that's out there. And so when we finally realize that things are getting going again, and then you want to react, it's a little too late.
Yeah.
But when you're already, in the groove, already making it happen, you're catching that wave as it kind of comes out of any sort of downturn that might come along.
Yeah, agreed.
So what would you do, Chris, with some of your customers?
Yeah, so what I do is I basically encourage them, I just keep saying to them, customers right now, are really when they're nervous.
Yes, that's the key, isn't it? Yeah.
And so when
and why are they nervous? Because of the unknown. We're heading into the unknown now, aren't we?
Yeah, and so even B2B and B2C, you've got customers that are going, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And shutting down your marketing means your voice is not there to comfort them. It's not there to be the answer. And that's a serious problem, especially in industries where it's so critical. We've got, real estate where property is all changing, and you've got, financial planners and mortgage brokers and all those kind of main key industries. It's really important to be there and promote yourself and give answers. But then on top of that, it's what else is missing? Your brand's customers now are looking for something, and they're looking in a vacuum. And if you're not there, and if you're not getting value, then you're missing.
Yeah. So, and with us, what we're finding is that you've got two aspects at play. One is internally, the CEOs are saying, they're asking different questions of you. They're looking at potentially cutting your budgets. If you're a business owner, you're thinking, okay, what's ahead? Should I be spending this money now? So you've got internal pressures, but then you've got external pressures where people are not sure of the unknown, and they actually want somebody to tell about them. Tell them where they should be, how to be more efficient going forward, how to actually solve their new needs. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about in that aspect is that the customers, their needs will change in this environment. So what we're talking to our clients about is the campaigns you've been running to date and the look and the feel that you've been adopting to date. You need to reflect on that and make sure it's right.
Yep.
Because what we're heading into is an environment where your customers are going to have different needs that are priorities to sell. Now they actually want some parts of your service but not all, or they want your product, they still want to purchase your product, but it might want to do it more cost effectively. Or if you're positioned as a more value product, you'll come to the fore. So you've got to think about how that market's changed and change your language to it.
Yep.
And for us, it's the look.
Yep.
So you've got to be more sensitive to what the look might be. Because if you just continue doing what you were doing before, you'll still, even though you're out there and you're still spending money, your messaging and your visual perception is tired.
Yeah.
You've actually got to respond to
And I
this,
think
what's coming up.
That's kind of the key, really, isn't it? It's not about stopping things. You continue to do it, but what you need to do is adapt and change. So whether it's down to certainly the messaging and how we communicate, what we communicate, and what the needs of our customers might be at that time would be changing as well. Yeah. But then also, if you think about the actual campaigns themselves and activities that we might be doing, those will change as well. And we can look at some of the nice things that occur during a downturn if everyone else does go through and slows things up. And we saw that through COVID, where others weren't marketing as aggressively or as prominently. The cost of advertising dropped substantially.
Yes. It does.
The impact of your marketing went up substantially.
And the turnaround time, like if there's less clutter,
there's less noise.
Yeah, there's less noise.
So there's actually less noise. So you can really be seen in this. So what we encourage our clients to do is reflect more onto, okay, let's look back into your secondary colour palettes. How can we do new campaigns that freshen you up, and also think about the imagery that you're using, and so that you're going to the market at a time when everybody else is pulling back and reducing, and you really want to make an impact and a statement, but you've got to think about your language. And this is why we come and we refer our clients to people like yourself, Chris, to say, okay, you can't just go with the same campaign message. You can't just go with the same messaging that you went in before. You've actually really got to change it up. And be more focused on what is it. Anticipate what your client's needs are going to be.
And respond. So instead of going in the deep freezer or knee-jerk reaction to pull everything back, now is the time to reevaluate your brand, your messaging, and all of that. It doesn't have to go off-brand. It actually definitely don't go off-brand.
It doesn't go off-brand.
But what it means
doesn't change it doesn't change the encompassing brand or the encompassing tone. You just get more specific responding to a market need.
And what campaigns do you need to do? What do you need to reach out to? And look, long story short is in an economic downturn, your brand needs to be there, right? Because people are looking to you, and if you're not providing that reassurance and that comforting message and being heard, then people go elsewhere. And as Mike was saying, there's less a competition out there because other businesses like your competitors will pull back. And if you're there leading the conversation and you're being a key opinion leader on topics that you are relevant in, that's when people go, oh, this brand knows. And look, I know for a fact that this works. I mean, during the 2020 COVID period, leading up to it, I remember all the brands, so many businesses just clammed up and shelled.
They went quiet.
And I was like, and I said to my team, no, let's keep going. And we got so much market share of this. And now I'm seeing what's going on going forward at the moment, and I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's a pandemic or an economic reason, it's the same situation. And so as a result, I'm going to respond the same way. And that's what it's got to go to.
Yeah, I think in a nutshell, it's a good time to reevaluate things and to look at what you're doing and have we got the right message going out there in a changing market? Are our campaigns and the activities we're doing actually generating the kind of results, and how do we maybe make them more efficient or focus on certain campaigns that we know are going to get better results? But it's certainly not to stop and just sort of panic and pull the pin and say, well, how do we cut costs and stuff? And marketing is often one of those ones that people look at and go, because it doesn't necessarily have a direct, immediate result, we say, well, we can cut that for the short term. And come back to it.
But then it's that tail lag.
That's exactly it. And that lag effect happens straight away. You still have that lag effect as it takes impact. But then once you want to get going again, you still have that lag effect. So when the market's already started to move and you're behind already, you're just further and further behind on the recovery side of things.
Yeah. The other one that we find from a branding perspective is tougher markets are perfect for creating brand awareness and building that brand voice and identity. So investing in that and really getting the engagement in the values that your brand stands for, what it is that your identity is, and how you want to be perceived by your market, that becomes a really strong part of your marketing campaign because you're building brand awareness. And there's, as you said, Mike, because you do get more advertising space for your dollar, you have the opportunity to do more brand awareness work. And then when you come out, all of that work that you've done,
it's beneficial. And that was, again, to Mike's point, is like that lag. If you keep going, there is no lag. And then when the market picks back up,
you're there, and you've been the market,
running.
you've been the leader, you've led the conversation. That's the key. You've got to lead the conversation through the downtime, for me. And
an economic turn will flip, right? And then the market will flip, and it'll go back to the prosperous stuff again, right? And that's when everyone rejoins, and your brand is that leader while everyone's rejoining the race. So I think it's really important.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
they were the key things for me.
Any last thoughts?
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Our point is, make sure that you are right now in economic hardship and pandemic hardship and all of those kind of things. That old adage of never stop marketing applies more than ever, and that for all of those reasons we've discussed. So,
it's an opportunity. Take the opportunity, lead the conversation.
Be found, be heard, be seen.
Be conscious of what the changing needs of your target audience are, and respond to those with campaigns. Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this episode. This was really great. So, Chris, Mike, Kristen, and join us in the next one.